Hello again, I am Jim Bob and welcome back to F1 Manager Challenge Mode. And what a race we had last night. For those of you who missed it, I do highly recommend you go back and watch our race at Silverstone. It was fantastic. And that's all I'll say. So, here we are tonight, heading into the Red Bull Ring for the Spielberg Grand Prix in Austria. We've got 4 days to go until race day, and we've got new side pods coming the day before the Grand Prix as well. So hopefully we'll be able to build on last night's performance with a similar result. That would be amazing. If we can get a similar kind of result, that would be fantastic stuff. Evening, Anthony. Evening, Mr. Water. Good to see you guys. So let's go ahead and advance time so we can get those side pods built. And we've got a spare suspension. And a spare chassis. And that replaces the ones that got wrecked in Canada? Yeah, Canada. And there's our side pods. So, let's go ahead and get these manufactured. I'm stuck on the car. We're going to emergency manufacture both of these because they won't be ready in time otherwise. And there we go. Installed on both cars. So let's take a quick look. Actually, we've got a new part we can start work on, haven't we? I do need to put some hours into a new rear wing for research, but given that that's going to be heavily affected next season, I want to actually do that with some hours. We've done our last side pods, I think, so let's go ahead and do a research project on side pods. So we've got 53 days until the next ATR period. There we go. How many engineers have I got? I've got 3. 47 days. It's 53 days to the next period. Let's go with 2 engineers. And now that gives me 1 engineer left over. So let's go to current projects. Let's go to our suspension. And let's add on an extra engineer. Just take a couple of days off that project. Okay. We did get an up-and-coming driver announcement. Let's see. Oh, it's Ollie Behrman. Yeah, we know how good he is. I would love to have Ollie Behrman in my car for this career. Might well make him my rookie for next season. So let's have a look at race prep. See how we can do tonight. Let's take a look at what the car looks like. 7th in speed. 5th, 3rd and 1st in cornering, 5th and 5th in DRS, 5th, 3rd and 3rd in dirty air cornering, 7th and 9th in cooling. So the cornering's pretty good. The speed isn't too bad. I think we've had a slight improvement thanks to those side pods. It's definitely boosted our engine cooling a little bit. I don't know if it's given us a rank boost, but we've still got a very strong car. Our drivers were magnificent at Silverstone. Let's see if they can put in a similar performance level here at Austria. We need to set some targets for the Grand Prix. Both in Q3 is the incentive. I'm hoping we can achieve that. We're going to back that up with a quali position of 2 in the top 10, and both cars into Q2. Fastest lap. I didn't think we were going to get fastest lap at Silverstone, and we did. So yeah, I was going to target that here, but it's already given that as the incentive. So I'm going to say we can get both our drivers in the points. Finish position streak 1 in the top 15. Quali streak. Let's do a new streak. Let's do 2 in the top 10 for 5 races. And there we go, we are good to go. So let's head to the Austrian Grand Prix.
The battle is surely going to rage this weekend. Welcome to the Green Hills of Austria. The Red Bull Ring hosted its first Grand Prix in 2014, and it's been spectacular ever since. The Red Bull Ring is one hungry beast of a power track. Drivers face a steep climb up to turn 3 and a fast ride downhill through wide corners and straights thereafter. There's plenty of opportunity to overtake here, especially with the help of 3 DRS zones. The season is about halfway through, and it makes me wonder what else is in store for the teams. Well, there's only one way to find out. There's nothing like a race weekend in Formula One.
So here we are at the Austrian Grand Prix. We've got a very wet day today, but then we've got perfect weather for quali and for the race as well. So that is good. I did not want to have a wet race here. We would be inconsistent on the pace if that was the case. Right, let's put in some practice parts. There we go. ERS modules, we'll go with our most worn modules for that as well. And gearboxes. Yeah, still got a little bit of life left in that gearbox. And that one as well. Right, setups. So that's the sliders for Freddy. And let's take a look at the sliders for Felipe. Okay, so this is going to be the lower of the front wing setups. So let's go 4.5. Let's go with a 13, a 1.9, a 3.25, and we'll try a 0.85. Okay, so that's Felipe's car. Run plan here is going to be 23 laps because this is a very, very short lap. Just a fraction over a minute. So 23 laps will be good. Give us time to get the car turned around for a second run. Same for Freddy, 23 laps. Drop his pace and let's do his setup. I might go a very similar setup here actually. 4.5, 13, 1.9, 3.25, and I'll go with a 1. There we go. So the only difference between these two setups is the toe. And let's see if we've got this right. Do I want to go with the softs? Well, let's wait and see what the weather looks like when we get in the session.
Radio check. Radio check. Green light, green light.
Okay, so it is going to rain in this session, but it's not going to rain heavily. So we'll use our softs in this session, we'll use mediums in the next one if it is going to be heavy rain, because I think it's going to rain in the next session too. And then that'll be the hards for Saturday morning. You use old engine parts and gearbox in practice down to 15%. Oh, I take them down lower than that. I take them down to around 4 or 5%. I get as much life out of them as I possibly can.
We've just had a car run wide. Oh, there's a spin!
We are expecting rain pretty soon.
Alright, hopefully we can get this feedback in before the rain hits. Don't really want to have to change tyres partway through a run.
We've just had a spin.
We're close. Here comes the rain.
There's more rain now, so just watch for slippery conditions.
Okay, copy.
I'm going to stay out for another lap. Someone's gone wide. Everyone's still on slick, so I'm not surprised. There we go.
What's your
Set up
thoughts on
feedback
coming in
from
or
Freddie.
doing any
94%, that's good. So Freddie can come in. Come on, Felipe. Alright, he's going to have to go another lap.
How's the balance?
87, so a little bit more work needed on this one. Right, let's have a look. What do we need to change? So, traction, braking and cornering. We can do that with a little bit of change to the camber. And the toe. Let's do that. See if that's enough. And we want to go with some inters now. Oh wow, it's gone up to 4.8. Yeah, inters is going to be the right call. We'll be slow when it peaks again, but I think it's the better option. Okay, so we need a bit more rear wing on this one, so we've got to go to a 13.5. Let's see. Everything else just needs a little bit of a tweak. Let's go to a 5.5. A 13.5, a 1.9, a 3.2, and a 0.95. That's a bit too much. Let's get to a 0.9. Actually, let's do it that way. That isn't enough now for the traction. Right, let's get to a 5. There we go, that works. Let's try that. Let's see how that works. So we're going to be a little short on run time at the end of the session. Potentially. But our run is going to be slower because we're in the wet. So maybe we're going to be fueled to near the end of the session. I can keep them out for an extra couple of laps as well. We did shorten the first run by a little bit, by about 5 minutes.
Oh, did someone run wide there?
Once again, we're not seeing any reserve drivers from the AI. I really do hope they do something better with
Like
young drivers in the next game. Maybe it'd be great if we could actually have a young driver academy where we could sign a few different drivers to the team, and then one of them, you know, it could still only have one promoted to reserve driver status, but you know, that way someone who's too young to sign a Formula One contract, you could sign them to an academy contract like they do in real life when they're in the junior formulae. A way that you can help guide and shape younger drivers before they actually get into a seat at one of your cars. Evening, Farah. Right, 88. We've actually gone backwards with Freddie's setup slightly. And that's okay. We can fix that, hopefully. 97% for Felipe, so we made big improvements for his setup there. So he gets a little squirrely coming out of turn 3 there. Okay, so everything else is pretty much okay. That's encouraging because it means that if we just do that, that should be it. What do we need to do here? I'm going to do that and then click that back that way. And see if that does that. There we go, that's the first session done. So Alonso's got a penalty. Didn't see him hit anybody, so I wonder if that's carried over from the last race or if it is a part swap. Same for Zhou. Zhou also has a penalty. The penalty for Zhou is kind of meaningless towards us, but the penalty for Alonso is fantastic news because we are in that fight with Alpine. So anything that puts them further down the grid is brilliant stuff. Right, let's go with a set of hard tyres because I think the rain's going to be out the way now. So we want to go about 30 laps, I think.
Radio check. Rain, all cleared.
Copy.
And there we go. No threat of rain detected. Lock up for Freddy. Doesn't really cost him too much. Doesn't get stopped. Just a very big wide. So that shouldn't flatten his curve. Let's keep an eye on that. Let him do a couple of laps. Yeah, his curve is unaffected. That's good. If he'd had to stop to let other cars go through, that would have killed his curve, and he would have had to start, you know, on the gradual gradient again. Alright, we've got Freddy back up into the good range, 97%, so that needs a small tweak. We can do that at the end of the run. What about Felipe? And we got Felipe nailed. Excellent stuff. Another lockup.
Look at the replay. Let's have a look here.
That's not turn 2, that's turn 3.
Oh, and there's the lockup.
That's the same corner. That is slightly worrying. That's twice now on this run that he's locked up heavily there. Does make me a bit wary that he might do that in the race.
I think someone's run wide.
All right, let's see. Let's go back an extra click. See if that does the trick. That one's nailed. What do we get on track knowledge? 69%. And 67%. Okay, so they're still a bit short, so they'll have to do long runs in the next session as well. That's okay. I mean, theoretically, I could send them back out now, but I'll just do it next session. Excuse me. Sorry if I just blew out anyone's eardrums there.
Sounds like we've had a spin.
Alonso with a spin. And it's good to see that Alonso is struggling as well. You're expecting another 1-2 tonight? Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. I think the only reason we were able to get 1-2 was because Verstappen had a grid penalty and started 10 places down. Had he not had that penalty, we would never have been in a position to jump him and then stay ahead of him with track position. So tonight, I'm expecting him to sprint off into the distance. But I still think, you know, had we not had, you know, the help from Verstappen being up front, we'd have been in contention for a double podium last night. It would have been a bit trickier because Verstappen, for at least the first few laps, would have potentially pulled the rest of the grid along at a faster pace. So it might have been a bit trickier to stay with that lead group in the first stint. And if we hadn't been able to do that, yeah, then the podiums would have gone. But yeah, it was a good race. This one's going to be very different, I think. I think Verstappen's going to walk this one, unless he has some kind of accident somewhere. But again, you know, if we can get onto the podium, I'd be happy with that tonight. So, medium tyres for this session. I'm going to go with a little bit of extra fuel. I'm going to go with 32 laps. Just to make sure we can get these runs complete. We've made the changes we need to for Freddie's car. Hopefully they're correct. And we'll go with 30 laps for Felipe. And let's go back to practice.
Radio check, radio check.
Radio check.
It's green now.
So have we gone the right way with Freddie's car? If we've gone the wrong way, we are going to have to pull him in and make the changes.
We've just had a car run wide.
Because it will drop him out of the optimal window, which means he will not get the 15 out of 15 bonus. And while it's only going to be 1 point in one skill, that could make all the difference. While it doesn't have a huge impact on the vastly more experienced drivers, you know, for younger drivers, every skill point counts. Another wide for Drogovic. He's not having the greatest of practice weekends at the moment, making a fair few mistakes. I am nervous about how he's going to perform in the Grand Prix. I'm wondering if the car is just that little bit too quick for him here.
What's your thoughts on coming in or doing any more?
Oh, there we go. We've got the full 100 for Freddie, so that's excellent news. We can just finish their runs, and that'll be enough. There we go. Practice is done. So, time to bring on quali. and see how high up the grid we can get our two drivers. Ferrari's not looking particularly good on the timesheets at the moment. And we have a big crash. Is that a Red Bull? I think that's a Red Bull.
It's a collision.
It is. Hamilton and Perez have come together.
There. Now, just watch the Mercedes here.
So Perez has gone wide and come back on the track as Hamilton was coming round, and
no!
yeah, bang.
And there's the crash. Mark my words, there'll be questions asked about that later.
That'll be a penalty for Perez.
That's going to be a big blow to the team. Will they be able...
That also helps. That actually helps in two ways. One, it takes a part away from both of those two cars. So if they have an accident that's going to break front wings, it's theoretically possible that they might run out, like Vettel did.
did someone run wide there?
Was it Canada where Vettel stayed out, or was it the dying laps of... It might have been the dying laps of Silverstone, but Vettel just stayed out with no front wing. So we could see a situation where that happens in the race. If they lose a front wing, they might not have a spare, and they would stay out and be incredibly slow. Likewise, it takes Perez down the grid a little bit, because he will get a penalty for that, or he should get a penalty. Let's have a look. It's not allocated it here. Maybe he didn't get a penalty. Oh, Vettel's out. Someone else has gone out as well.
Was that a crash? Multiple cars, I think. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so there we have the Alpine.
So Vettel just doesn't seem to like a front wing on his car at the moment. Right. It was the Williams file. It was Monday, which was Silverstone. Because Vettel was in an Alpine. Here he was in an AlphaTauri. So... right, I take that back. It wasn't Vettel who lost his front wing. He was the victim in that one. Right, let's put some proper parts in the car. 78. Do I want to go with a 78% engine here? We're heading to France next. I'm going to save these engines for the Hungaroring, so we'll go with the next new engine, and then that last engine will be saved for Spa and Monza. Let's swap our ERS modules. Gearboxes, a little bit of a risk. I'm not going to take it. That one is fine, but we'll swap anyway. And we are good to go.
Radio check.
So let's go out and do a quick banker lap. Hopefully we'll get a clean run. Felipe got held a little bit by Sainz there, but that's not too bad. So a 104.6 from Vesti. Sainz has done an identical time by the look of it. Yep, there we go, identical. We're only a couple of tenths off Verstappen with Vesti. Wow. Drugovich is normally a tenth or so or two faster than Vesti, so could we be in for a pole position here?
Looks like there's been a lockup.
That would be mighty. I might actually have to send out Felipe again. I'm just looking. I think we're going to be safe. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm not going to take that risk. Vesti's safe, but Felipe is close to the drop. Only needs one of those drivers to substantially improve. I'm looking at Norris to definitely get himself out of there, and then we're at very real risk of someone like Albon improving enough to jump us. So we have to take another run with Felipe. Look how close the field is, though. It's 0.6 of a second from 1st to 15th. That is ridiculously close. Let's see if we can jump out behind the Ferrari. Yes, we can. There we go. So this is a crucial lap. It's so ironic that we've got one driver who is second on the grid at the moment, and another driver who's only 0.3 slower, who's at danger of being eliminated from the session. That's crazy. If the pace of the field is like this on, in the race, it's going to be a very interesting tactical race, because there's not going to be big gaps opening up between the field. We're going to have a long train for a long time. FCC and CGD? What are they? Oh, hang on, we've got a yellow flag. Is that going to affect us?
Out there. We can take a look now. Watch this. We're looking at Lando Norris. That looked like a very nasty spin.
Okay, whoever it was Norris. He's moving again. It's not going to affect us, but that does mean that Norris is not going to get through. Norris is going out because of that spin. Felipe not improving in the middle sector. And we don't improve. Oh, wow. In that case, it's really lucky that Norris had that spin, because that could have been disastrous. Luckily, Albon didn't improve either, but nobody improved, I don't think. Oh, we just saw a little blip. I think Russell just improved a little bit. So Perez does not have a penalty. I guess a bit disappointing. I thought he'd have one for that crash with Hamilton. Alonso does still have his penalty. As does Zhou, but Zhou's starting at the back anyway. Right, on to the next session. We can go scrubs for Vesti's first run. I'm only going to do one run with Felipe. Actually, no, we'll try a scrub run, and we'll see how well he can do. I'll send him out right behind Vesti and see if he can get a slipstream.
Radio check. Radio check. Green light, green light.
Right, so Felipe needs to pull over and let Freddie through. Hopefully that'll happen here. There we go. Oh, he's lost a little bit more ground than I would have liked, but he's still close enough to get a slipstream. A slipstream's going to be mighty here. Which is what we need, because he is running on scrubs that are now on their third run. We are probably going to have to go out again on brand new softs at the end of the session, given how close the field was in the first session. I just don't see how we can get through without doing that, but we shall see. And you're right, Mr. Watson. I am awesome. Thank you for saying that. Alright, so Felipe, with the benefit of that slipstream, gets purple, so he's faster than Freddie in the first sector. It's this middle sector where he might come unstuck. Well, maybe not the middle sector, maybe the final sector. Okay, here we go, so Freddie's still purple. Or Felipe, sorry, is purple. This is the sector where the lack of grip might become an issue, and the dirty air as well. No long straight really for a slipstream. Maybe we can get a little bit of a boost over the line. Yeah, no, Freddie is faster in the final sector. But Felipe does go faster overall. So, now we wait and see whether or not we have to go out on new tyres. Everyone else is probably going to go out on scrubs as well. So Sainz and Perez are going out on scrubs. We're faster than Perez by a tenth. Sainz coming up to the line. No, it's Leclerc, not Sainz. Leclerc, we're faster than Leclerc. And Sainz. This is looking great. Do we really have this much performance here?
Copy that. So make sure you get your pit limiter as you come in the pit lane.
Well, there we go. Oh, do I gamble and stay with just these tyres? And then it'll give me, because I need 2 sets of new tyres for the race. Because I'm going to run a 2-stop strategy. So I need 2 sets of softs to make that work. So the question is, do I gamble and use another set here? It means I won't have a new set for the next session, because I will only get 1 extra set. For Q3, and I need those 2 to be reserved. So I'm gonna wait and have a look at the rest of the grid. I really hope, I'll prep the cars just in case, but I really hope we can get through without needing to run again. So Verstappen is on a lap, or about to start a lap, I think. Yeah, he's just starting his lap now. And he goes faster by a couple of tenths. And that was also on scrubs. So, I'm gambling. I'm staying in the garage. I think I've got enough pace in the car to just about manage to stay in the top 10 without having to run. This is a real gamble. This could go horribly wrong, but I think we're good enough. AI's using brand new tyres here. This is the gamble. The fact that Ricciardo's not running again. Ricciardo's staying in the garage as well, so Ricciardo's going out.
The checkered flag is now out.
Because someone's going to improve. Surely. No one's improving. Alonso jumps up a couple of places, improves his time, but does not get out the top 10. There we go. Look at that. Okay, so we are potentially in with the shout of a pole position here. The question is, which driver do I give that advantage to? I think the smart play would be to give it to Freddie.
Ready, check.
So we're doing 1 run at the end of the session. And I've got to decide which one of my drivers I want to give that slipstream bonus to. I think I'm going to give it to Freddie. Verstappen does a 104.1. So these times are being set on new tyres. Their second runs will be on the same tyres they're using now, so they shouldn't improve unless they have a really bad lap. Whereas our run will be on brand new softs with the track at its best conditions, so maybe we can sneak something. Maybe we can sneak a pole. If not, we should at least get 1 car on the front row. We've had more pace than the Ferraris and Perez all weekend in quali. So this is for all the marbles. This would be our first pole position, if we can get it. Could be another good race. Yeah, I didn't think we'd be quite as quick as we have been in quali. So I'm now a lot more optimistic about our chances of getting another podium here. If we can jump Verstappen at the start as well, who knows what could happen. We will go full attack at the start. So purple for Freddie in the first. It'll be purple in the second as well. Very close. So he's going to be getting the dirty air now through this part of the lap. Oh, he didn't get purple in the second. Okay, so maybe we might not quite have enough pace to dislodge Verstappen, but we should certainly get ahead of Perez with one of our two. Ideally, both of them. Up to the line. Second and third. There we go. Fantastic. That's a great starting position. One right behind Verstappen, one alongside. So with tyre and battery deployment off the line, we've got a really good chance of getting a 1-2 going up here into turn 3 on the first lap. And then we can try and control the race a little bit. Oh, I'm excited for this race now. I'm really excited for this race. Could we get back-to-back wins? That would be incredible.
It's time for the final touches here on the grid, ahead of today's race.
There was some astonishing work from Aston Martin during qualifying, and their drivers are now poised to have a very strong race start. We saw a reasonable push from Mercedes in qualifying, and they'll have plenty of opportunities here to achieve a great result. The weather is very overcast here, and teams are staring at the sky, watching for the first sign of rain. Strategies might have to be quite flexible going into today's race.
And this is the moment where it all comes together. So prepare for another thrilling race, here at the Austrian Grand Prix.
So, interestingly, the game now thinks that our main rival is Mercedes. I wasn't quite there yet with my own personal thoughts. We were a little bit further behind than I would like. But, yeah, okay. We'll shift our sights and start targeting Mercedes. If we can get third in the championship. Ooh, that sends shivers down my spine of excitement there. So, one stop is generally a pretty fast on this circuit, but we are going to go with a 2-stop. So, we'll leave up the 1-stop for comparison. We're going to start on softs, switch to mediums, and then finish on softs. We're going to be very quick at the start, pretty quick in the middle, and then very quick at the end. We need that pace to overcome the time lost on a pit stop. Okay, so it's 1 second faster on the 1-stop, but we'll have much more grip. So we'll be fast in stages. And who knows, if we get a safety car, that could change everything. We will go with the 2-stop strategy. I just feel that would be a better option for us. There we go. Make sure that our drivers are both selected with the right strategy. I'm going to take 1 lap of fuel out. I could theoretically risk taking a second lap out because there's usually a very strong chance of a safety car, but if there isn't, that will kill our race pace as we save fuel. So just going to go with the 1 lap and play it safe. We're going to go aggressive with tyres and with battery off the line. And hopefully we can jump Verstappen in turn 1 and turn 3. Let's go racing.
A somewhat overcast day for the drivers who've now taken position on the grid. Taking a look at the Aston Martin. After an impressive qualifying performance, they're starting today just behind pole. There's the second Aston Martin. Starting in 3rd place, they're in a really good position for this race. The teams are ready to go. The crowd are ready, the cars are ready. It's the Austrian Grand Prix. It's lights out, and away we go.
Verstappen starting on mediums. He gets a really good start though. We're actually slightly slow off the line. Alright, we've got to run with both cars. He's going to block one of them, I think. And we end up kind of blocking ourselves there. Felipe now diving to the inside. He's got the run. He's got the lead.
You're doing a good job.
Now we just need to get Freddie past.
Take it easy.
Aston Martin with a great play
Actually,
there.
let's keep pushing.
They've moved
Let's
up
see
a
if we can
place.
break away.
Use energy.
Okay, cover.
We think we can lean on the tyres more.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit of a slipstream off the back of Drugovich there. Oh, I pulled him behind him. Okay. Try and get a launch up the hill. We're not getting through here. This is possibly our best opportunity to make the move. And we squeeze through, so we're up to 2nd. Just about. Right, so now what I need to do is protect Freddie.
Looks like Aston Martin have
Because
just
Freddie's
gained
used
the
up pretty
race
much all of
position.
his battery now. So I need Felipe to back off just a touch. For Freddie to get into his DRS.
So DRS is enabled now.
Because here comes Max. He's going to throw it up the inside.
Push a bit more.
Come in.
Alright, I will try and retake that position next lap.
Red Bull moves
I think
up.
Verstappen and Felipe will be a close battle. I don't think Freddie's quite got the pace to hang with Max. Max gets clear air. Right, so can we keep Verstappen behind us? Or at the very least, can we stay with Verstappen if he gets past? He's having a look. Even on mediums, he's very, very fast. Look. That Red Bull is just mighty here in his hands. He's got to run up the inside.
Let's focus.
So let's focus on getting our cars recharged.
Yeah, copy.
We've already broken 2 seconds away from
Red Bull
Perez,
gained
so
the place.
yeah, we'll try and get our cars fully charged, and then we'll try and have another break away if we can. Or as I say, as long as we can stay with him, I don't think we're going to win the race. Even on a one stop, he's going to be so quick. And I think he's going to be a little bit too quick for us. Unless, of course, as I say, a safety car comes out, that will change the very nature of the Grand Prix. It'll close the field right back up again. And if it comes at a point where it's really beneficial to us and not so much for everyone else in terms of tyres, then yeah, we could be on. But at this early stage, we're racing for second and third.
Okay, energy's good.
Copy, copy.
Which I will happily accept. Be over the moon for a double podium again. Freddie already starting to drop off the back. Slightly worrying. It's going to make charging him very difficult. You have to do it in little fits and starts. So I'm going to have to deliberately overcharge Felipe here, just so that he doesn't pull away with Verstappen and keeps bridging that gap for Vesti to get his battery charged up. Once Vesti is charged, I can then unleash both drivers at normal pace again. We're now 3 seconds ahead of the battle behind.
This is good, come on.
Okay, one more lap should do it, I hope. Maybe 1.5. So there you can see the pace of Verstappen, a 109.7, technically a 109.8. He is lapping 0.4 of a second faster than Sainz. We're lapping slightly slower because we're on charge mode, but we don't have the pace to pull away, I don't think. Might have to pivot the strategy.
Got loads of energy.
Yeah, copy.
Just don't crash. Well, yeah, that goes, kind of goes without saying there, Eric. Alright, let's see what we can do now that we're fully charged again. See if Felipe can find a way through in an opportune moment. I can't really afford to push the tyres in a sprint, so it's all going to have to be battery. Verstappen's going to get the DRS there.
Good job, keep pushing.
Yeah, luckily we didn't get the jinx last night. Somebody running wide.
Someone's run wide.
Just Albon.
Energy if you need it.
Yeah.
Ah, we're blocked. Let's recover that battery quickly. Just got to find the right opportunity. Ideally, the best place for us to get the overtake is going side by side into turn 3, get the DRS on the run to turn 4, and then sprint for the next lap and see if we can break away. Because it's a very short lap, and without that sequence, I don't think, even on softs, I don't think we're going to have the pace to break away otherwise. Right, here we go. So we're going to get the move done. Now we have to absolutely launch. Oh, and Vesti's having a look.
This is good.
So use energy.
Going.
Ah, I wasn't quick enough on the DRS deployment for Vesti. Maybe, though, he can help put pressure on Verstappen and either force a mistake, which is unlikely, or at least slow him down a little bit as he goes defensive. Yeah, and there we can see what I mean about Verstappen just being so quick. Even on the mediums, he's so fast. Got to look at the inside here. If we can get in front of him with Vesti, we can control the race. It's just getting in front. That Red Bull is mighty here.
That's it.
All right, there we go.
Aston Martin with a great play there.
So we're 1 and 2. Now we've got a chance to control the pace. Got that little bit of a buffer now between our two drivers. Between Drogovic and Vesti. Verstappen. Get my names mixed up tonight. Let's get a little bit more of a gap if I can. Then I can charge Felipe. There we go, that should be enough. Oh, this is dangerous. Gotta go neutral just to make sure I come out the corner ahead. Yes, there we go. The engine sounds so nice. Yeah, they really do. I've come to appreciate the noise of these V6 hybrids, whereas before I didn't really care for them too much. I mean, the V8s and the V10s were just amazing. The screaming V10s, but I remember the V8s of the Jaguar. They growled. Oh, they were such a great sound. They weren't particularly competitive, but they sounded fantastic.
Seems to have been a lock-up.
Okay, we got a yellow flag somewhere. That's Perez.
Sounds like someone's locked up.
Perez has had a mistake. He dropped down the order a little bit and held up both of the Mercedes there. So we're just going to keep the status quo for a while. Our tyres are starting to get to the point where we're going to lose some lap pace. Let's have a look at the mediums. They're a little bit better. Not as good as I thought they would be at this point.
Energy's good.
Yeah, copy.
Did I watch the Australian Grand Prix? I did, yes. I watched them all. Not live. I don't have live access, but I do watch the highlights of every Grand Prix. Unnecessary chaos at the end there with those restarts. Right, Felipe is now pretty much fully charged. Was I happy with the results? I mean, it was good to see Mercedes get a result. It's a shame Ferrari didn't. Really disappointed to see Max holding so much in reserve that he could just turn the engine up and just blitz away whenever he needed to.
We just need to charge up.
Yeah, copy.
You thought the first red flag wasn't necessary. Which was the first red flag? Was that... That was right at the beginning, wasn't it? And then there was a... Was it a safety... No, it was a red flag for the gravel across the track, wasn't it? When Albon went skidding over the track. Over the gravel. I don't have a problem with that one. I thought that was a legitimate one because, I mean, the amount of debris all over the track, I mean, that is going to make it very dangerous in terms of grip for the drivers, or the sheer lack of the grip. Plus, it massively increases the chance of a puncture as well, which on a circuit that fast, you do not want to go slamming into the walls. So,
Red Bull gained
yeah, I have
the
no
race.
problem with that first safety car. I thought the
Still a
second
lot
one
to
was a
play
bit,
for.
you know, with that red flag. I thought the ending was farcical, though. There was absolutely no need
Red Bull moved
to
on.
red flag at the end. And then, of course, that led to the chaos, which meant there had to be another red flag. They should have just red flagged and ended the race after that. They didn't need to red flag and restart again for one lap. They're just so concerned at the moment about making sure that the race finishes behind, that the race finishes at normal racing, that, and not behind a safety car, that, they overcorrected massively
Okay.
in their decision there.
Okay, energy's good.
Yeah, copy.
You say they had to finish the 58 laps. They never used to. I mean, I'm not 100% up on the regulations right now, but I mean, I remember back in the day where if they red flagged a race, they would just call the race off, and that was it. Back in the era of the 80s and 90s, if a race got red flagged, then it was just red flagged, and that was it, end of the race. I also think the rules that allow drivers to change their tyres behind a red flag is a bit silly. I can understand you've got potential safety concerns if someone's tyres are really worn, but it's not technically a 4-hour time limit. It's a 4-hour window, and the race itself cannot exceed a total of 2 hours. Or 200 miles, whichever comes first.
Doing a good job, keep pushing.
That's why Singapore in the past has actually finished before the number of laps because of safety cars, slowing the race down to a point where they didn't have enough time left to complete all the laps. You shouldn't be able to benefit from someone else's misfortune. Yeah, like I said, I can understand both sides of the argument with changing tyres under red flags. I mean, it makes sense from a tyre safety point of view. It levels it for the whole field. It can really screw drivers over in some cases,
This is good, come on.
as it did for Russell, who pitted, and then the race was red flagged the next lap. And he went from being second to, what was it, 8th? Ah, there is the lockup I knew was coming from Freddie. Oh, and he's hit. Oh, I knew Felipe was going to lock up at some point, and he's hit his teammate. Ah, how bad's the damage? Let's have a look. Gearbox is dead, so Felipe's out. Terminal chassis damage as well. Felipe is out. What is the damage to Freddie? Minor damage. He's been threatening that all through practice. He had, what, 4 lockups in practice. I was worried it was going to happen at some point in the race, and yeah, into the wall, bounced off the wall into Freddie. We've got minor chassis damage. That's going to affect our cornering speed for the rest of the Grand Prix. It is in our pit windows, so we can go ahead and at least throw on those mediums without a major loss. We haven't got any front wing damage, I don't think. Let me double check. Yeah. That's frustrating. That was a brand new gearbox as well, or close to a brand new gearbox in his car. So we just lost an entire gearbox in, what, 17 laps? 21 laps. And he'll get a penalty in his next Grand Prix as well. Lovely. So that's a 3-place penalty at Paul Ricard for Felipe, taking out his teammate there. Well, hitting his teammate. Didn't take him out, thankfully. But that safety car has come at the perfect opportunity for Freddie in terms of his tyre strategy. And he won't drop down the grid half as much as he would have done under normal racing conditions.
Understood. So use pit limiter,
At least the wing isn't damaged. Well, we could just change the front wing if it was a wing. I'd be happy with the front wing being damaged and not the chassis. The chassis we can't do anything about. That's now a cornering problem for the rest of the Grand Prix, whereas the front wing we could have changed at this pit stop. But we're going to get out ahead of Perez here, so that's good. We've only dropped down to 8th place under the safety car. So we would have been a lot further down under normal racing conditions. So maybe it's not doom and gloom. There's still a podium chance for Vesti. And someone's locked up under the safety car. Who's done that?
Up on the track. Let's have a look. All eyes on Kevin Magnussen here. It's a lockup.
That was barely a lockup. Am I a Ferrari fan? I've got a soft spot for Ferrari. I've got soft spots for a few teams. I don't have an outright team that I follow. I follow drivers more. But yeah, I've got a soft spot for Ferrari. I think every Formula 1 fan has a soft spot for Ferrari, even if they don't like to admit it. Just because it's Ferrari, you know. But, you know, I grew up cheering on Williams in the 90s, McLaren in the 2000s. I despise Red Bull. And obviously I've kind of cheered on Mercedes a bit because of Hamilton, you know, support a British driver. Farah loves Hamilton. Two can play your game, Farah. So, with the rest of the field looking like they're going to catch up in just a few seconds, we should hopefully get the safety car in this lap. do I think the safety car looks good? I mean, it's okay. It's a safety car.
So safety car will be in this lap. Safety car will be.
It is what it is, really. It would be nice if they actually modelled the lights of the safety car going out when it comes in, but they don't. Which is a bit of a shame. Let's see if we can capitalise a little bit here.
No overtaking until the control line, and there'll be 2 laps with no DRS.
Yeah, copy.
Happy to push.
Yeah, copy.
Use energy if you need it. Use energy.
Jordan's a strange one for me because I kind of liked Jordan as a team, but I don't like Eddie Jordan. I actively hated him when he was a pundit on the Channel 4's commentary. I'm so glad that they barely ever use him now. They break him out once a year so they can broadcast from his yacht at Monaco. That's about it. But yeah, I can't stand Eddie Jordan at least as a pundit. I think he's awful.
That's it.
What track is the hardest? What, in this game? Oh yeah, Flavio. Yeah, the dodgy playboy. Yeah, not a big fan of Flavio either. I don't know what the hardest track here is. I think Cota's a tough one because the tyres wear out so quickly at Cota. Jeddah is not a great one because it's very early in the season, so even if you've developed a really strong car, Red Bull usually have an advantage over you in that first couple of races. So unless you have a truly world-beating car, it's very hard to get a result at Jeddah. Beyond that, I'm not sure.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race.
Brazil can be tricky. Brazil can be tricky to get a result. Because again, you can just fall off the pace so quickly if you burn your tyres a bit too much. And Abu Dhabi's a strange one. Oh, I love Spa. Spa's one of my all-time favourite circuits.
We just need to charge up.
Okay, copy.
I love Spa. I love Canada. Canada's a great circuit. I can always get a good result at Canada. Baku, I like Baku. Again, you can get good results at Baku. I would love to see Portimao back on the calendar. I really enjoy Portimao as a circuit. I wouldn't mind seeing the Nürburgring back on as well. Alright, so Verstappen is once again breaking away at the front of the field. We're not really in a position to try and force our way through yet. We don't have enough battery to do that. So I'm just trying to get little bits of charge where I can. Actually, I'm going to delay that for a second. I'm going to push here. I want to drop Hamilton if we can. I'm sure Farah's cheering that. And Sainz is in the pits. So we're starting to see the medium runners coming in. And there we go. We did actually break the DRS to Hamilton. So that will create a little gap. We're going to see a flurry of activity in the next couple of laps, I think. So Verstappen, Hamilton, Perez, Alonso, Norris and Albon are all going to be making stops in the next lap or two. There goes Verstappen. And there goes Hamilton. Yellow flag in sector 3. Ooh. Someone having a bit of a wide at the final corner.
Wide there. Let's take
It's
a look
Albon
at the
again.
replay. Now watch this. Here's the moments involving Albon. Oh dear, oh dear.
That was close with Magnussen there. Or was that Schumacher? It's probably Schumacher. Yeah, it was Schumacher. Right, so the whole field is suddenly bunching back up again. This is not ideal, but I need to take this opportunity to get some more battery in the car. No one in front is going to stop for a while, so I need this battery to actually get these overtakes done, I think. But I need to start putting gap between me and Verstappen if I've got any chance of beating him in this Grand Prix. I'm just going to have to go for it here.
So use energy if you need it.
Copy.
Do I like the cockpit view? I do, but I tend to only use it when I'm trying to engineer overtakes like this. For broadcasting the racing, it's better to use the broadcast cameras. Let's try and go around the outside. Nope. We'll get him here though. We're going to get a run on the Ferrari as well. Oh, around the outside of the Ferrari. And a run at the inside of Ocon. Oh, so close.
They've moved up a place.
Alright, so let's go back into charge mode. Great couple of overtakes from Freddie there. You do realise I'm not controlling the races. I'm only kind of, issuing them commands. They're the ones that are actually doing the, the driving. So I don't get to control where and when they brake or what line they take. I can only kind of issue some basic instructions. This is a management sim. No, it's way too early to say that. Red Bull will get points. There's a lot of hard tyre runners out there who haven't made their stop yet. Max is still a threat for the win here.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race position.
All right, let's try and break away.
Sorry.
Don't have a huge amount of battery, so I can only do this for this lap. I can't really sprint after this lap. I'm hoping I've got enough grip on these mediums to do that.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Sorry.
Really push through these corners here. There we go. That's what we needed.
Some lift and coast will help.
So now we can run
Okay, copy.
at normal pace. We're just not going to have any battery for a while. But we've got a nice little group of cars behind us that will hopefully act as a buffer for anyone who gets too close. This isn't F122. This is F1 Manager. This is a very different game. F1 Manager is by Frontier. F122 is by Codemasters, published by EA. Hello again, Fandius. Bad news, Felipe drove into the wall, bounced off and hit Vesti. So Vesti has some mild chassis damage, and obviously Felipe's out, which brought out a safety car. But it has helped Vesti in terms of tyre strategy, because it came out just about 2 laps before we were supposed to be stopping anyway. So Verstappen has made his one and only stop. He is the threat for the win, and we are trying to 2-stop. So we'll be going on to a set of softs later, and hopefully we'll have enough pace to hang around with Verstappen if we can't at least beat him. We're going for a podium. If we can get the win, that would be amazing, but we're going for a podium tonight.
Oh, they've run wide.
Oh, mistake for Leclerc.
Let's see what happened there. Watch this. There's Leclerc. They've taken that far too wide.
Ooh, that slows down Russell and... Is that Ricciardo? It's Ricciardo. It also gives Ocon a bit of breathing room. Let's have a look at lap times. So we're doing a 108.6. Verstappen now in clean air and pulling away from Schumacher, closing up on Bottas, is a 108.3. So, yeah, 3.5 tenths faster than us a lap. Nearly. That's the tyre situation. There's a lot of hard tyre runners that have yet to stop. Verstappen, Sainz, Perez, Hamilton, Norris, Alonso and Albon are the only ones who have stopped. Obviously we stopped from softs onto mediums, we're stopping again, and all the rest of the hard runners are stopping as well. What do I think about Fernando? I think Fernando is an incredible driver who has made some very questionable career choices. It's great to see him in a car where he can finally show exactly what he's capable of again. But young Fernando, I did not like young Fernando. When he was at Ferrari was when I started to develop more of an appreciation for him. It was hard to know just how good Fernando was when he had that dominant Renault in 05 and 06. Because that car was mighty. But seeing what he could do in the Ferrari that was awful, and to on two separate occasions get it within, you know, a whisker of winning a championship in a car that had no right being that high up in the points in the grid, really showcased exactly what he was capable of as a driver. And ever since then, you know, it's not worked for him. So it's great to see him in a car where he can finally showcase his skill again. Do I think he's too old? No. If he wasn't getting results, maybe you could say yes, he's too old. But he's obviously, age is not affecting his performance. If anything, he's aged like a fine wine. You know, his mind is fantastic when it comes to racing. His skills are just as sharp as they ever were. It doesn't seem to be affecting his fitness levels. So yeah, he's not too old. What do I think about the Mercedes? Well, it's a beautiful looking car that clearly doesn't work. Beyond that, it's only raced a couple of times. There's not really much to say. Right, so we've got the gap to Ocon up to 5.5 seconds now, and we are still lapping 0.3 of a second slower than Verstappen. He is now on the back of Bottas, so let's keep an eye on Verstappen for a couple of laps. Looks like he's about to make a move on Bottas. Come on, Valtteri. Hold him up as long as you can. Someone's locked up. We've got another safety car. Oh, now this changes everything.
Safety car, safety car. Car in the wall.
Copy.
Right. I think the smartest option here is to box for a new set of mediums to get me through to the end. Keep track position over Verstappen. We might well see some of these hard tyre drivers boxing as well. This is a tough one. We can at least charge our battery. Let's box. I can always, if we get another safety car later, I can always go back onto another set of softs if we need to.
We've had a crash. Here's the replay. Right, watch this. There's Schumacher.
Oh, he did what Felipe did.
Oh, a nasty crash
That's
there.
exactly what Felipe did. Except instead of skidding across an empty track, he skidded into Vesti.
And that was a bitter blow for the team.
So, safety car is going to hold up the field. We're going to drop out probably around Ricciardo, maybe just in front, maybe just behind, but we'll be in front of Verstappen.
Copy that. Use pit limiter.
We'll have brand new softs, mediums to go to the end. He'll have slightly used hards to go to the end. And Ricciardo's boxing, so we might actually hold on to the lead here. Bottas pits. Can we get out in front of Magnussen? That would be ideal if we can get out in front of Kevin. He's just going to get us. Oh, there's Verstappen. So we're out behind Gasly, but we are out in front of Max. That has worked out beautifully. 31 laps to go. Brand new tyres. We're charging up the battery. We'll even have a little bit of fuel to play about with as well.
Back off.
Sorry.
And I would not be at all surprised if Magnussen and Gasly box this lap. Or if not this lap, then as soon as the safety car comes in. I can understand why Gasly didn't box, because Bottas did. Schumacher's out, so I don't know why Magnussen didn't box. Okay, no boxing for Gasly. So he must be staying out now until the end of the safety car. Maybe he's going on to a set of softs for the closing laps. I would dearly have loved to have been able to go with softs, but they wouldn't have really had the pace to last the full 30 odd laps. Plus, if we stayed in the queue like this, our lead would be gone, and Verstappen would just demolish us. We wouldn't be able to make up the 20 odd seconds we would need. So we had to go for the mediums. But the chance of the win is still on. It's going to be a straight fight between me and Verstappen. What do I think about Grosjean?
No overtaking until the control line.
Talented, unpredictable, a bit reckless. He had a number of high-profile crashes throughout his career.
So we just need to push now.
Copy.
So there is no overtaking until the control line, and there'll be 2 laps with no DRS.
Copy.
You can use energy. Use energy. You can use energy.
Copy.
Oh, big locker for Bottas. Under pressure. It's another yellow flag. No, not Bottas, it's Gasly. Come on, make the move. Ah, damn it. I wanted to get this move done before the DRS kicked back in. Try and go up the inside. Nope. All right, we got him. Just in time as well. Right, I'm going to have to sprint, see if I can break away.
You stop, lift and coast.
Actually, no, that's a bad idea.
All okay on fuel, so you can do what you want for speed.
I kind of need to keep Magnussen behind me. In the DRS.
Got back a bit.
To stop Verstappen from just, slingshotting straight past him. And even with charge mode and low tyre pace, he's still dropping further behind. Grosjean was the guy in the fire at Bahrain, yeah. Went through the railing. He was very lucky not to be... If the halo didn't exist, he would have been decapitated going through that barrier.
Happy to push.
Yeah,
Bianchi died at Suzuka in 2013, I think it was. 2013, 2014. I think it was 2013. When his car aquaplaned off at 130R at Suzuka and went into a recovery vehicle. Oh, was it 2014? Very sad, and he was an incredibly talented driver as well, which is, just an extra level of misfortune that we never got to see his true potential. Charles Leclerc's uncle as well. Yeah, potential world champion. Absolutely, if he was able to get in the right car, definitely potential world champion. He had some real talent. I've seen some truly horrific crashes in my time. I remember, still a little mentally scarred from it. I remember Senna's death. Watching that live, that was brutal. I was a huge fan of Senna. He was just a phenomenal driver. Even though I was cheering on Mansell when they were battling, I've always, had a huge respect and admiration for for Senna, and you know, watching him hit the wall at Imola in '94 was bad. Watching the complete uncertainty of a lack of movement around the car, and then the race continuing afterwards, and Murray just not having any real information. As soon as that Grand Prix finished, I immediately grabbed my radio, put it on the sports channel, Radio 5 Live, and just listened for news. And about 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the announcement came that he'd been declared brain dead, and that was horrible. Absolutely horrible. 3 days of national mourning in Brazil. The whole country shut down for 3 days. I was 15 when it happened. But everyone always forgets Roland Ratzenberger, who died the day before. And Rubens Barrichello was incredibly lucky as well. He had a massive crash that weekend as well.
Got loads of energy.
Copy.
And then a few weeks later at Monaco, Carl Wendlinger hit the wall at Monaco coming out of the tunnel and was in a coma for a while. Yeah, it was a very bad year, '94.
I think someone's run wide.
I suggest lifting coast.
Okay, copy.
So here we go. We've got 53 laps, including this one. Not 53 laps, 23 laps of head-to-head between Vesti and Verstappen. I'm going to see if I can just protect the tyres a little bit. We don't really have the pace to stay ahead of him, I don't think, even with the slightly better tyre compound. With the damage to the car affecting our cornering speed slightly, the safer option here, the smarter option, is probably to just stay behind, try and make sure that our tyres are well protected, and then try and break away from him towards the end. But yeah, Sainz up to third. Don't see the Ferraris having the pace. We've got another lock-up at turn one. This is one of the McLarens. It's Norris, and it's another safety car. Ooh.
Car in the wall.
It's too early to box for softs.
There's been a crash.
I would drop
Sounds
way
like a
too far down the
car.
order.
Let's take a closer look. Now just take a look at the McLaren.
Getting busy with the safety cars tonight. This is what, the third one?
Thank goodness nobody else was involved. That was a big crash. The team are devastated. They'll...
Certainly getting the action tonight. Kind of wish I'd taken 2 laps of fuel out now. going to end up with so much spare fuel. And there's Magnussen. He is boxing finally for soft tyres. Gasly and Zhou will probably pit as well. I was going to say, how did Gasly end up all the way down there? But he had that lockup, didn't he? So Gasly and Zhou going for softs as well. We're in pretty good shape, but those hard tyres of Verstappen's are going to hang on really well, especially with these safety cars. This does help us a little bit with our mediums, managing the wear rates. But I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Safety car will probably come in at the end of the next lap. All the races seem to be eventful in this series. Well, yeah, one way or another. It's either through our action on track or crashes or safety cars, you know. Sometimes we do have boring races. But more often than not, there seems to be at least one thing. I mean, last night's race wasn't the most exciting race in terms of action on track, but hey, there was a lot of tension, there was a lot of drama, there were some beautiful moments. That overtake from Felipe very early on, where he went straight round Hamilton and Perez to take the lead, dived up the inside of them off the bottom of the hangar straight there. Beautiful overtake. And obviously the push laps on the in laps for the pit stops to try and retain and successfully retain track position over faster cars. Without having that much action on track, it was a fantastic race. This one, there's a lot of action on track. The only disappointment is that we lost one of our drivers in the process. Because we could be on for a 1-2 again, had that not happened.
Safety car is in this lap. Safety car is in this lap.
Copy.
Both cars flying past Hamilton was your highlight. Oh, you're so predictable, Farah.
So there is no overtaking until the control line. There'll be 2 laps with no DRS.
Yeah, copy.
Yeah, should probably go full aggression on tyres. No, full normal pace on tyres rather than defensive to start with. In fact, let's go like that to protect the tyres a little bit and still burn off some of this extra fuel, so we've got a slightly lighter car. And once we get clear of sights, I might even try dropping the pace of the tyres down a touch more as well. So if we get another safety car, unless it comes with a few laps to go and we've got a nice window to drop into the pits and come back out without losing much in the way of track position, we're staying on these tyres to the end now. We've got 18 laps including this one. So I don't think, even with another safety car, even if we go 10 laps, we're not going to have a big enough window of space to jump in, put softs on, and despite being brutally quick, there'll be too much work to try and overtake all those cars to get back up to Verstappen. So our best chance for the win now is to stay tucked up and then break away at the last moment. So we have to be patient. Have to play the long game.
Drop back a bit.
This is why I'm trying to look after these tyres and burn this fuel off so the car's in its best possible condition.
So DRS is enabled now.
I can reduce the amount of tyre wear and get the car feeling a little bit lighter. Try not to use the battery at all. That will put us in the best possible position. Ocon's doing well, he's up in 4th. Hamilton and Perez outside of the points at the moment. And Ocon has actually jumped sides. These remaining laps are going to tick down really quickly as well because it is such a short lap. Got to try and time this right. We do what we did in Canada where we went too early and just ran out of pace across the line. You know, I don't want to have another little disappointment like that if at all possible. Got to try and judge this just right. So far this is working very nicely. We're keeping within the DRS of Verstappen, which is allowing us to run our tyres at their lowest setting. Can't wait too long though, because these tyres are still burning out faster than Verstappen's. But by the same token, it's probably more beneficial for us to be behind and have the DRS with slightly worse tyres than ahead, defending against the DRS with worse tyres. So the strategy remains unchanged. But I think what I'll do is I'll now stop burning the extra fuel.
Okay, happy to
See if I can stay with him
Yeah, copy.
with still pushing like this. So we just reduce the strain on the tyres a little bit more. Let's see if we've still got enough pace to stay with him. I might have to up the pace through the final part of the lap. Oh, he's going to have a look. Max just covering it off there. So can we stay close enough through this part of the lap? Losing a lot of time through those corners there. But I think it's achievable. Perez gets himself up to 8th, so Perez is now in the points. We get to find out as well after this race whether or not... Oh, we've got a lock-up. It's not going to be a safety car. But that's Stroll out of control.
Seems to have been a lock-up. Let's have a look. Now let's have a look. It's Lance Stroll. That lock-up could have cost them.
Ah, that turn has caught out so many drivers this weekend.
That's it.
Aston Martin with a great play there. They've moved up a place.
Alright, so we should get the DRS back now. Yes, we did.
Red Bull gained a place.
We're starting to get to squeaky bum time. Another lockup. Again, it's turn 1. And is it Stroll again? No.
Oh, big lock-up there.
It's Leclerc.
Take a look now. Okay, here's the Ferrari.
That's not turn 1. That's
And
turn
yes,
3.
That's the lock-up. The team are really disappointed.
And that's really going to hurt Ferrari. Leclerc dropping to 7th. A lot of drivers feeling the pressure right now, it would seem. All right, final 10 laps. Our tyres are in good shape. Still got a slight wear rate advantage. I'm going to throw absolutely everything at the last couple of laps tyres, fuel, battery, the lot. Not only are we going to try and win the race, but we want to see if we can also sneak the fastest lap back off Ricciardo. That's just for pride, it's not for points. Another yellow flag, someone else making a mistake. They're coming thick and fast now.
Look at that!
It's Ricciardo.
Let's take a look at the replay. Daniel Ricciardo involved here. They go wide.
That's going to help out Ferrari a little bit. Leclerc will get right on the back of him again and should be able to fly past him now. Sainz retakes third place. See, Ocon. Sainz made a mistake, or did he just get overtaken? I think he just got overtaken. He lost out to both Ocon and Russell. Alonso down in 12th, so we haven't got to worry about Alonso scoring points for Alpine, but Ocon is obviously going to get some good points. Russell is in contention for good points. Hamilton's still in 10th, not in the points. Perez is now back behind Bottas, so no points for Perez. So we're going to minimise the loss of one of our cars not scoring here, because quite a few other teams are not going to have both their cars scoring as well. That helps, that suits us. We will close the gap on Mercedes. We'll increase the gap on Alpine. We'll potentially close the gap on Ferrari as well. Can Russell hang on for the podium? Kind of want him to, but at the same time we're now chasing down Mercedes, so I kind of don't want him to as well. We've been looking after these tyres well. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. Just a small number of laps to go. Vesti again having a look at an overtake. And this time I think he's going to stick it.
Looks like Aston Martin have just gained a race.
Maybe not. Nah, Max will fight back through. So we'll get the DRS on the main straight again. That's okay. Got to be patient.
Red Bull moved up.
I really want to just try and break away now, but I'm worried that if I do, I'll have nothing left for when Verstappen just tries to come back at me, and he probably will come back at me. It's an all or nothing proposition for us. And I'm going to have to increase the tyre pace through here just to make sure I stay with him, because he got the DRS on that straight.
You can stop, lift and coast.
Yeah, copy.
Got to make sure I stay in range.
Lift and coast will help.
Okay, copy.
5 more laps. 5 more laps.
Oh, Max has spun. It's a crash. It's a safety car. It's a VSC.
Virtual safe.
Yeah, I am just going to protect the tyres. The grid is neutralised. Verstappen's going to box. I could go for softs, but it's just not worth the risk. I will not get out in front of the queue, and there's only 4 laps to go at the end of this one. I'll just take the 7.5 second lead. Thank you very much.
Yeah, copy.
So Max is going to have damage. He's got a damaged front wing. Will he box? He hasn't damaged his tyres, just his front wing. He's not boxing. But that's going to make him slow. Or slower. He's still going to be quick, but he's going to be slower than he was. Seitz has got damage on his front wing as well. He's missing his left front wing end plate. No damage for Russell. No damage for Ocon. It's allowed Leclerc to get back onto that group as well. Don't jinx me, Farah.
They've locked up and gone straight on. Here's the replay. All eyes
Magnussen
on
locking up
Kevin
under a safety
Magnussen
car.
here.
Again!
Well, they've locked up.
Same corner, and again, it's not really a lockup.
Happy about that.
Alright,
Virtual safety car.
we're back in the normal running. I am not going to push.
DRS is
I'm
enabled.
actually going
DRS
to
is
drive
enabled.
a little bit more reserved. Just, I want to make sure. The gap has come down to 6.3. It's because we're back up to racing speed. It always shrinks the gap slightly and overinflates it with VRS. So we've got a 6-second lead.
3 more
But
laps.
crucially,
3 more laps.
Verstappen has some damage, and he's going to be under pressure from Seitz, who also has damage. I think DRS will kick in straight away because it was a VSC. Yes, it has. So Seitz will probably be able to stay with Verstappen. This gives Russell an excellent opportunity to get into second place. I'm actually going to watch Russell because I think he is the best placed of these chasing cars. He's the only one here who doesn't have damage. If he can get a clean run, he should hopefully have the pace. Well, as far as he's concerned, he should hopefully have the pace to be able to stay ahead. I'm no longer interested in going for the fastest lap. I just want to finish now.
2 more laps.
Wave the flag. Wave the damn flag. Alright, Sainz is actively holding up Russell here. Oh, if Sainz gets in front of Verstappen here, that would be amazing. He does.
So this is last lap. This is last lap.
I want to watch this battle, but I want to watch Freddie get his first win. Just bring it home, son. No heroics. Sainz gets back in front of Verstappen, and I think that is... Oh, no, Verstappen takes it back. They're side by side. Oh, I want to see what's going on behind, but I do not want to look away from this. Verstappen's going to get second place. But we are going to win back-to-back Grand Prix.
Checkered flag.
Whew, what a result. What a result. It's bittersweet. We lost Felipe to do it. But we did it. And just mistake after mistake from so many drivers in this Grand Prix. 3 full safety cars and a VSC at the end as well. Verstappen buckling under the pressure from Vesti. He wasn't even trying to, really push. Spinning out, hitting Sainz. That might be a penalty for one of those two drivers in the next Grand Prix.
What an incredible outcome for Aston Martin's driver. Today, Aston Martin demonstrated that they can go very far indeed.
That's right, they've made some fine strategic decisions here, and it's brilliant to see them pay off.
And after this result, the team is 4th in the constructor standings.
As we reach mid-season, the battle will pick up again in the Côte d'Azur. Join us in the south of France at the circuit Paul Ricard.
Oh, what another great result. Another win, back-to-back wins. Now both of our drivers have a win this season. It's just a shame we couldn't get Felipe on the podium with Freddie there. Good result for Sainz and good result for Russell. What happened to... Where is he? Verstappen finished 8th. What happened? Did he spin on the last lap? No, he had a 5-second penalty for the collision. Ah, that's what it was. He got a 5-second penalty added on. So, yeah, that dropped him behind the entire chasing pack. So, a bad afternoon for Max there. A really bad afternoon for Max. So Sainz and Russell join me on the podium. Ocon gets 4th place. That's 5 strong points for Alpine. Good points for McLaren, who are starting to see a little bit of a resurgence. That's 2 races in a row where they've scored some good points. Disappointing for Leclerc. Magnussen sneaking a couple of points there for Haas as well. It's been a while since they've scored. Another good recovery drive from Bottas. But again, missing out on the points. And Fernando with a good recovery drive, starting from the back thanks to his penalty. And yeah, just such a shame for Felipe. Could we have won the race if Felipe hadn't have retired? I honestly don't know. Probably not. Well, maybe, because we did have other safety cars that were not of our making. So who knows? Maybe we could have had a 1-2. Maybe we could have had a double podium. It's kind of immaterial now. But into the Drivers' Championship, Max with his single point still manages to increase his lead in the Drivers' Championship over Sergio Perez, who failed to score any points at all. So that gap now 29 points. Leclerc does close up slightly, so he's got the gap to 7 on Sergio now. Good result for George Russell. moving him up to 4th. Sainz moves up 2 places as well, as does Freddie, who actually moves above Felipe. So he's been very consistent. That's his 3rd podium of the season. Lewis, no points for him. Actually sees him drop 3 places in the championship. Yes, I can hear the cheering, Farah. Good points for Ocon, good points for Ricardo. Magnussen also gaining some more points. Let's see what it does to the Constructors' Championship. 1 point, 1 solitary point for Red Bull. Sees them on 141 points. They're still massively far ahead of Ferrari. They're still probably going to dominate this Constructors' Championship. Ferrari, good points for them. They haven't scored much in the last couple of races, so that's important for them. Mercedes, yeah, Hamilton's really struggling at the moment. He's not getting points. It's, I think, 3 races in a row where Hamilton hasn't scored points, and it's hurting Mercedes in the construct to the point where we are now just 9 points behind them, and we are closing them down. 19 points clear of Alpine now, which is huge considering just 2 races ago we were a long way behind them. Now we are a long way ahead of them. So that is really, really encouraging for the second half of the season for us. More points for McLaren. They are pulling away from Alfa Romeo. Can they close down Alpine? Probably not. But they're going to try and get 6th, I think. And Williams still the only team yet to score. Good experience points for Freddie. What a race he had. Exceptional. 14 overtakes, 6 defences, 41 failed overtakes. All that pressure he was putting on Max at the end really contributed to a lot of those failed overtakes there. 8 failed defences, racking up some big points there. And he does get another development point as a result. Only a good race for Felipe. He was doing well until the crash, and then obviously that just curtailed him. But he'll bounce back, hopefully, at the next Grand Prix, which will be tough. Paul Ricard is not a circuit where we traditionally go very well, so there's no real wiggle room on tyre pace on that one. So that's going to be a hard race. I fully expect Max to dominate that one. We fail our performance guarantees as a result of our sponsors, as a result of Felipe's retirement, but that's okay. We keep our streaks going, and we end up with more money that we are just not going to be able to spend because of the rules and regulations of challenge mode. And now we get to see what the points are going to be for next season. Do we want to attend that? No, we do not. Board could not be happier. Well, they could be happier. They could have had 2 cars finishing, but yeah, very, very pleased with the result. And the points are changing next season. It's happening. So we're going from only 8 places paying points this season to only 6 places paying points next season. So if we thought the points at the start of the season, we thought points were going to be very hard to come by, how things have changed. Next season, it's going to be even tougher for teams to get points, as only 6 cars will score points. That is going to make things very, very interesting indeed. We do need to take some action. We've got some missing parts. As you can see, we are missing a chassis and also a gearbox. So we do not have a spare chassis. Gonna have to manufacture one of those. We've got 11 days to the next Grand Prix. If I rush, I can get 1 built and still have a spare. So let's go ahead and rush 2. There we go. Let's check the powertrain. Yep, that's a brand new gearbox killed. That's not good. And our brand new ERS module took a hell of a hit as well. That's down to 53%. Ooh. The engine was a brand new engine as well, 99% going into this Grand Prix, and that is now down to 68%. So that's a big impact on Felipe's season, with the loss of those, the loss of performance from those parts as a result of that big crash. That's really going to hurt him in the later stages of the season. Looks like Freddie's going to become our lead driver this year as a result. Let's improve his braking up to 78. Almost there now. Once we get him up to 80, I'll start working on his cornering. We are only 45 points away from Felipe getting another skill, so he will get that before France. Let's check our staff. Alessandro has another point to spend. Medium and high speed downforce are going to suffer next season. Let's bump his medium up to 80, and then we'll throw any more points into the high speed. No points for our engineers. And that is where we are going to leave it for tonight. Let me just check the warehouse. I could probably do with another rear wing. Well, maybe not another rear wing, but I could do with another front wing. I know I've got one coming in 46 days, but we've got 2 more races to get through before we'll get that one. So let's go ahead and build an extra spare front wing. And we'll build a spare rear wing as well, just in case. There we go. So that'll be 3 chassis, 4 front wings, 4 rear wings, 3 underfloors. Yeah, do I want to do another underfloor? No, probably not. And 3 suspensions. I'm not planning on making another suspension, so yeah, I should probably go ahead and make another spare suspension if I've got enough manufacturing capacity. I don't. So, yeah, we'll have to wait for some parts to be built before we can make some other spares. That's where we're going to end it for tonight. Another fantastic result, tinged with a little bit of sadness. But Freddie gets his first win. I think that's his career first win. Let me check his career. Yeah, he did not get a win last season. He didn't even get a podium last season. What a difference a year makes. 3 podiums and a win. And, you know, is the lead driver in points in our team so far this season. That's fantastic stuff for him. Really has come into his own in these last few Grand Prix. So that's it for tonight. I'll be back tomorrow with the next race in our Challenge Mode series, which will be the Circuit Paul Ricard in France. And then Friday we'll be back with Williams for the start of the second half of our final season, Season 3 with Williams, where we'll be doing our last to first for the remainder of the season, kicking that off at Spa. So 2 exciting prospects for racing remaining this week. I will hope to see you all tomorrow. Until then, thanks for watching. I am Jim Bob, and I'll be back with some more F1 Manager very soon.